pushing us out and pulling us in to herself. And in the center of it all, in the center of us all, the one heart, that place where it all comes together, where we all come together, where no one is left behind, where all are well met, from whence we yearn and hope and grieve and celebrate together. It is from this place that I greet you, from between the worlds, in another time and place, a thin place where the veil is not getting any thicker. So, what I've got for you tonight is the raw material. Look at this. This is the real deal. Not too many people will ever see this. I mean, until later when they're unearthed in a future civilization and people are like, this is amazing. Okay, so I'm going to read you dream reports, insights, and revelations from my first 3 weeks here on assignment. The very first night I was here, there was a group of women bishops, powerful, bold, courageous, ambitious women who also were bringing the light of Christ and spreading the gospel, good news. Very sincere people and very dedicated and very stressed out, some of them. So anyway, they were really interesting people. And on the very first night I was here, I dreamed that the women bishops gave me, each of them, a long necklace. It's like they approached me and placed it around my neck, each one of them. And most of them had a crucifix or an equal-armed cross or a pope's cross or a different kind of cross. But some of them had a different kind of implement. And on examination, I realized some of these were rosaries, and some of them were malas, and some of them were Ethiopian African beads. And some of them had a device instead of a crucifix, a buzzing, vibrating device. You held it in your hand and it buzzed and vibrated. So they told me this is a secret technology for prayer and ministry. And one placed it on me and said, please yourself first. And then another one said, program your body. And then another one said, pattern your field. And then another one said, prayer matters. So I've been asked to pray for this place. That's my job. It's pretty intense. So on the second morning, I woke up and I wrote this. The spiritual life of a place and a group of people is not something abstract. It is a tangible and felt quality of energy. The atmosphere created by the intention of those involved. It is the quality of attention and the coherence of intention that distinguishes a strictly profit-driven commercial hospitality venue from a mission-driven spiritual retreat center. The little apartment here is stocked with books, good ones. Among them, Take This Bread by Sarah Miles, who is an incredible writer. I had no idea. Here's a nice quotation that really resonated with me. A woman with a notebook and pen and a determined look can go anywhere. Whew. And again, she says, what I had been hungry for all those years was communion. Sarah Miles is an Episcopal priest and a fantastic war correspondent journalist who founded a very, very successful and inspiring food pantry for people in need in San Francisco. She can also pray up a storm. So on further reflection, I wanted to share with you that one of the best things about this assignment is the ability, well, I'll say it this way, the wild, unshackled bliss of sitting still alone at night, reading what I want to read, with no disturbances and no interruptions, and no one to consult and no one to bother, in a beautiful place, surrounded by miles of nature, in a setting that supports me intellectually, spiritually, materially, and professionally. My native resting state is Lectio Divina. So then I have to show you a diagram. See this? See this eye shape? Whoops, there. Okay. The upper lid of the eye, the upper arch of the eye, is Sophia. The lower lid of the eye is Tara. The iris of the eye is a clockwise circle that says Lakshmi, Oshun, Kamala, Hestia. And the inside pupil of the eye is a counterclockwise circle that says Kali. Yes, these all have very specific meanings. No, this is not an arbitrary drawing of an eye with a bunch of goddesses' names in it. That's something I can go into more deeply if you have questions, or maybe next time I see you. Important revelations to be explored. Okay, here's another dream. I'm walking around in a downtown, a city. There's so many tall buildings. I'm going through all of them. At one point I get stuck in an elevator. It stops between floors and I have to climb and clamber my way out. And some minor bureaucrat with a clipboard and glasses on his nose stares me down and tries to shame me and scold me for getting stuck in the elevator. And I am so radiant and so happy that I just joke with him and I josh him. And he is so delighted that he immediately shifts and wants to have fun with me. And then he wants to serve me. And then he wants to be me. And so everywhere I go in these tall corporate companies, I find it absolutely hilarious when people try to power play me. And I'm able to stay playful and create a lively atmosphere for problem solving everywhere I go. So then here we have my request, my prayer for, my pilgrimage within. Make me a teacher now. Help people understand what I see, know, and desire. To co-create, to bring into being, package it in ways that gain respect and engage the listener or the reader deeply and with noticeable positive results. And clear advancement for me. Okay, we have to be practical too. So now I want to share with you, I just am checking the time. I want to share with you a couple of words from Jane Burns, who is a teacher of Celtic shamanism, which I'm pretty sure is the same thing as Druidry. I think she's from a bardic tradition, but I don't know any more details. Here is her incantation that the Morrigan recites to declare the battle won, the battle of sovereignty over lack of agency. To declare victory for beauty and order and the truth of oneness and connection, she says. Peace to heaven, heaven to earth, earth under heaven. Peace to earth, earth to heaven, heaven to earth. And I imagine that Sophia arching over and that Tara holding under. And then another of her blessings is this: strength of heaven be yours, light of the sun, radiance of the moon, splendor of fire be yours, speed of lightning, swiftness of wind, depth of sea be yours, stability of earth, firmness of rock be yours, protection of the 9 elements be yours. I still have a lot to go. So one thing I've really learned here, it's my job to pray, right? I hold morning prayer and I hold evening prayer for everyone here, everyone who comes and goes, everyone who participates in programs, the board, the staff, the suppliers, the creatures, the land, the water, the sky, the plants. And what I've determined is that what I really am doing and want to do more of is to take what I've learned in a seminary context, a monastic context, and a tantric fringe context as well, and translate it into the rhythms. So you take the rhythms of the ashram and the convent and the monastery and the cloistered life and enact them in my everyday life and in my own holy home. And so here's a sort of distilled version of what I do every day. Wake, give thanks, pray. Prepare, give thanks, pray. Work, give thanks, pray. Eat, give thanks, pray. Different work, give thanks, pray. Dine, give thanks, pray. Rest, give thanks, pray. Highly recommended. Oh, you're gonna like this one. All right. So then another dream I had, Richard is setting ritual fires all over the world in every possible setting. He has created a cremation pyre in the lobby of a refined luxury hotel. He's created a small cooking fire on a city rooftop at night. Dozens, hundreds of fires. Sometimes he's on his own, and sometimes he has partners and participants. These are tender fires and holy fires. Some of them have bits of body parts. Some of them are very polite ceremonial homas, and all with the greatest sense of vast tenderness, ferocious compassion, and fierce affection for humanity. In another dream, and it's not the first time I've had this dream, I often have dreams that cycle through before they become visible or memorable. We are making our way through a tall, seemingly endless vertical tunnel composed of rusted metal bars, climbing and climbing and climbing inside this scaffolding. Some of the bars are very far apart and hard to reach. Each step and handhold. Some of them are close together, and it's easy to make progress. The going is slow, but steady. We persist. We persist. We persist. Another dream, again, not for the first time. This was just this morning. A war. An invasion. Bloodshed and horror. All the faces of the invaders and the invaded are out of frame, except the babies. So it's a baby's perspective. One after another, these babies are bundled by their parents and siblings, wrapped up with their precious personal totems inside the blankets. Some make it out, some don't. It's strangely cinematic. Everyone is properly costumed in 18th century period outfits. When each baby is nabbed, if it's not run through on the spot, it's taken up, stripped of its bunting, its personal totem thrown to the ground, its poopy diaper removed and dropped with lots of sludge, and the baby is taken away. The first and last totem to appear is a huge red wrench belonging to a very healthy, fat baby, screaming as he's being mishandled by the soldiers. After that, a man dressed in good but very worn clothes has set out on foot with a bundle on his back. He's collecting spilled blood and small mementos, scraps of fabric, and small metal items, medallions and rings from the dead, folding them carefully in a small handkerchief and walking on. The red wrench is the power stolen from us in our innocence. This is the war in Ukraine. This is every war ever. This is the rape of the innocence that happens on an ongoing basis in our world. And the man in worn clothes collecting up mementos and blood reverently. He is on his way to build a world that doesn't require martyrs. He is persisting against all odds amid blood and shit and mud, against the self-perpetuating systemic cycle of war and grief and grief and war. So I have a little bit more to say, and I know I'm over time. But I wanted to end on a little bit softer note. So in the interest of building a world that doesn't require martyrs, I wanted to say one of the groups, this week we've had 2 groups on the property. A big, sprawling family reunion and the reenactment of a wedding that happened 50 years ago, the progenitors of this big, happy family. Lots of children running around in the gardens and the adults enjoying pleasant conversation. So well-managed, prospering family. And we've had a group on campus of men who have lost a child and are deep in sorrow. And it is mighty interesting to be responsible for holding space for both of these groups at once. It requires me to maintain some kind of dynamic in-between state that encompasses both of those extremes. And at last night's evening prayer, I had several men sitting in silence, and we sat for an hour. And then they went on their way, and one of them stayed behind, and he wanted to tell me that he had looked down at his hands during the meditation and had seen the church that we were sitting in held in his hands. And then he realized those were not his hands, those were my hands. That I was the one holding the church with tenderness and care. And he said, and then I had a glimpse of the most beautiful, clean and fresh, modern house, a comfortable place. He said it was 2 wings and an airy courtyard connecting them, surrounded by terraced gardens, nestled into a hillside with an open view of the surrounding country. And he said, I thought that might be an image of your house. And I said, I don't know what I said to him. I said, gee, that's really curious. That doesn't usually happen. But so, that's it. That's my report. I'm very happy to share it with you. We're just at a half hour. This is my offering. This is my invocation and my prayer. And with deep appreciation, I give you my love, and I would love to hear what you have to say about any of this, so you can contact me directly or leave a comment below. Thank you. Good night.